Welcome back to my channel, you all. Um, we're going to be talking more about these layoffs continuing. So, I pulled up an article here, what's going on with these layoffs. So, it says that the federal agencies are planning for mass layoffs as the Trump's workforce cuts continue. So it says that the federal agencies have begun to announce plans to implement Trump's request for large-scale job cuts and elimination of government functions. Already, the Department of Education is moving forward with a proposal to get rid of half of its workforce. And my thing is just like, why so many though? The Department of Veteran Affairs is targeting a reduction of 80,000 employees, and the Social Security Administration offered voluntary buyouts ahead of a reduction in force. The outlined changes are in service of Trump's vision of drastically reducing the size and scope of the federal government, an effort that has been led so far by the Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency, which is crazy. Tens of thousands of employees are on probation, typically those new to government or recently started in a new role. They've been fired. That's crazy. So even the people who just started, you know how like you have like a 90-day probation period? So yeah, these people just got fired and they just started. That's so sad. Though these terminations have been challenged in court, the administration was ordered to issue sweeping job reinstatements. And my thing is like, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, and that's the thing, I understand the concept of like wanting to go through the government and really comb through the spending, because yes, I do agree that, yeah, like maybe this did need to be done in terms of the research and really being able to determine where government spending is going. But this is just also so extreme, because what happens in the meantime? And if you're talking about, you know, what does the future of the federal government look like for you? You know what I mean? Because my thing is that we have a lot of agencies that we need, that are very important and vital to how our communities run. Like the Department of Education is vital to how our communities run. So it's not even like this is not even on a large scale. This can impact small communities with this Department of Education and half of its workforce potentially getting laid off. It says in the coming months, agencies are directed to continue restructuring their programs and personnel, canceling contracts and consolidating government buildings. So there was another video that I made where a girl talked about how she worked at a company that I believe they were contracted, or I guess they were hired by a company that was contracted with the government. And so because they relied on federal funds to pay this company, the company had to lay off all of their workers because that contract could no longer get funds from the government to pay them. So they literally had to lay off everybody. And that's what's likely happening. They're canceling these contracts with some of these vendors who likely were depending on these federal funds. Government spends so much money. At times, some of them don't even pass audits, and nobody investigates on why some of these agencies can't pass audits. Like, I'm trying to think, was it the Pentagon? I think it was the Pentagon that failed. Let me see. So it says the Pentagon fails 7th audit in a row. And this is part of the Department of Defense. People are sharing their sentiments on their experiences with these federal layoffs and what they could be possibly expecting in the coming months, years.
Veteran experience, the VA has announced in a memo that was leaked that 83,000 people were expected to be laid off from the VA system. 83,000. This is going to affect your health care. It's going to affect your benefits. It's going to affect whether somebody picks up the phone. It's going to affect whether you get your medication. 83,000 projected layoffs in the VA. This administration in no way is veteran friendly.
You know, I don't know. To me, it's just kind of scary seeing all these people being laid off, because I think it's also going to incentivize companies in a way to tighten the leash, I guess, for lack of a better, I don't know, phrasing. And that may look like, actually enforcing the social media policy they have, or putting more work on people's plates, because they know that this is their market and there's like thousands of people that need a job that will do what they're asking. And especially in certain industries where like layoffs are, prolific, like tech, or obviously anything in the government now.
Y'all, this job market is trash. Like, they have you doing 3-round interviews for a contract role that's only lasting for 6 months. 6 months. Yeah. I think it's time I need to settle down with a rich man that's just gonna take care of me, take care of these bills.
I know somebody literally dropped a comment in one of my previous videos before, like, yeah, just marry a rich guy. And I'm like, babe, I married for love. So, no.
I gotta call my parents. They gotta set me up. Yeah. Why?
But I'm not gonna hold you. I bet arranged marriages are sounding real good right about now.
6 months.
I was just about to make some bagels, so I opened up my laptop so I could get a little more light. Last thing I was doing on my laptop was looking at my email, I guess. So I just got, that really sucks. Of all of the jobs that I've been applying to the last 2 weeks, and definitely the job I was most excited about, because they wouldn't be moving forward with my application, basically. So this is my first real, no. I'm disappointed, but also it obviously wasn't meant for me. Rejection is redirection, as a lot of you guys have been telling me, and I've been telling myself every single day. So it's not a big deal. We're gonna move on from it, but yeah, this was my first no. And now I'm gonna make my bagels. I try to share most of my positive, not so much of my negatives, although I am honest with you guys. Last few weeks have been filled with uncertainty, and it also has been filled with positivity and support. I just wanted to say that I remember that as I wake up each morning, I try to find things to fill my day with. Blessing in itself right there.
Where y'all applying to? I'm just putting this out there right now, y'all. I'm a federal government employee. And today, they was literally changing people's schedule. So my schedule is 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So say for instance, you work that schedule, they'll come to you and tell you, oh, now you scheduled to start coming in at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and working past the time you usually work. People asking them why y'all doing this? Why y'all doing that? They talking about, due to the new changes. And I just feel it in my spirit, the layoffs is coming next. And y'all, I already just feel it in my spirit, I'm just in that lineup of the cutoffs. And the reason I'm saying that, y'all, is because I'm new to the job. I'm new to the company in this state. So technically,
Damn, and the article that we just read said that any probationary employees, so literally if you're newly hired and you're within that 90-day probation, they can lay you off and fire you.
They could really lay me off. It's not funny, but it's it's crazy. I could just hear them coming up to me Miss Speed, today gonna be your last day. And I'm just trying to already beat them to the punch before they lay me off. I'm trying to have a job already in placement, already lined up. I have been laid off before from the company that I worked. And to be honest, it didn't affect me. By the grace of God, y'all, I actually went into a fast prayer and was reading my Bible every day. I was laid off for a good month, y'all. No pay, no nothing. And when I tell y'all I didn't lack nothing, Nathaniel, nothing. So I feel with them already laying me off before, I feel it's gonna be another layoff. And I mean, I'm cool with that if that's what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Not to even mention, last time they laid me off, y'all, they had to go back and back pay me for every day that they had laid me off for. But I just made this video because I just got that little eerie feeling in my stomach, you next. It's not funny. But
honestly, I'm convinced that all people can do is just laugh to keep from crying, because it's what do you do? At this point, it's kind of most people go and work at the government because they believe that that is their forever job. When I worked at the state, everyone that worked in my department had been there since I was born. Like literally everyone who worked there had worked there since I was born. And I met people who, when I asked them like, oh, when did you start? They told me at 18, when they graduated high school, they got a referral and they literally came in and never left. That's generally how government workers hold it down and how they never leave. So, and not only that, but it's like government workers generally have a union. That's why I don't understand like how they're even able to do, because government jobs are supposed to be the ultimate secure job. Like you get a government job, you're retiring there, pension, everything. They can't fire you unless you do something diabolically crazy. They can't fire you. And even if you do something crazy, the union gonna protect you. Like, but it's crazy to think that it's like people have gone and like, you know, probably gotten excess education just to get positions in the federal government only to have this happen.
Nervous laugh. Hey, mom, is where y'all putting these applications in.
So I got laid off today. Okay, let me be serious. So my role was one of the thousands of roles that were directly impacted by the federal budget cuts. I think the thing that makes this harder than it normally is that I can't comfort myself by being like, oh, it's just a job, because it's not. Like, it's truly a symptom of a larger problem of what's happening in this country. Like, everyone is going to be affected. Unless you're a straight white man that's like in the top 1% of income, like you're going to be affected. And it doesn't feel like there's anywhere left to go. Even if I do find a job, like what am I working towards? Like what? Like why am I working for this country? Like why am I doing work for this country? I don't know. It just doesn't feel like there are any safe spaces left to go to, for lack of a better term. Like there's nowhere to really like go. It just feels like it's such a like absolute destruction. And what makes it worse is that I'm one of the lucky ones. Like, I'm fortunate enough to have a family that would support me, but there's going to be so many people who are on the streets or worse because of direct impacts or indirect impacts, like whatever it may be. But it's just like, how am I one of the lucky ones?
That's the heartbreaking part about it, is just because knowing that it's like not everybody has a support system, not everybody has people that they can fall back on. So it's like, what happens to those people
when it sucks so badly already? I just don't know. Let me know if you guys have any tips on like how you're staying motivated in the midst of all this. Because I truly am just
exactly a month ago, and I posted a video about it. It went viral and whatever, but I've had people ask me how my job search is going. If you couldn't tell by how puffy my eyes are, it's not going well. I feel like today is like the first time in the last month that I like actually had like a full-fledged breakdown just about the job market and things like that. It's really hard when like you go through an interview process somewhere and you are really hopeful about a job and then you don't get the job. And the job market is so tough. Jobs want like 3 to 4 years of experience, and most people like don't have that. Like, I've just kind of come to the realization
well, most people do have that experience depending on their age. That's the thing. That's why I said I feel for this generation of kids who are just graduating into this job market, because it's like, if they graduated in like 2021, how are they able to get experience? Like when they're competing in the job market with people with 20 years of experience, and they're needing to get that experience so that they can further build their careers in the corporate world.
So much shit coming up this year between weddings, trips, my wedding, my honeymoon. Our lease is up in June, and I hate crying on the internet, but it's just all very, very overwhelming, and it's really hard to even like have your application be seen by most companies. Like, I just feel like when you apply on LinkedIn, your application is literally viewed by like AI, not a real person, so you're not getting through to someone. I've also just seen so many videos like on my For You page this week and like just over the past month actually, of just people being laid off, and some of the comments are just like so mean on those videos. And even my video, like I got so much like hate on my videos. I haven't talked about being laid off since those videos just because I was tired of like receiving negative comments about it. But at the end of the day, like when you're laid off, like your income is literally taken from you without notice for something that like you didn't do. Like it's not like you got fired for something. I am so mentally just exhausted.
So yeah, like layoffs are still continuing. The federal government layoffs are still on a rampage, and they are laying off huge chunks of these agencies. Half of the Department of Education, 80,000 in the Department of Veteran Affairs, and they are not done. So yeah, baby, make sure you have a backup to the backup. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions below. And yes, I will see you all in the next one.